All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Making good progress. Got a 121% completion, and I'm just running from these witches and cats. Holy crap, that cat's fast. So this is actually attempt two. Attempt one did not go well. There's a boss that I'll get to momentarily. Well, not this direction. He's opposite direction. I like the book. So yeah. So I'm a little what the? Okay. So I'm a little behind in my oh my word. What the? Gee. Dang cats. What? No. These things are a nightmare. I gotta go save already. I'm almost dead. Holy crap, get away from me. Oh. So yeah, I did record a video last weekend, but I never finished editing it. And there. It's a VR video playing Job Simulator. Originally I was going to play, I don't even remember the name of the game, but it was a VR first-person shooter. There's like a single-player mode, but apparently you still need to be connected to the internet. So maybe someday I'll attempt that, but I don't exactly have convenient, consistent access to the internet. And then this was supposed to be recorded yesterday on Wednesday. Was actually my birthday, and I was a little busy with family stuff. So by the time I got home, I was like, I'm too tired. I'm not hooking up everything. Aha. Oops. Oh boy. Okay. Oh yeah, these guys. So, I watched a video. I want to say I watched it last week. I don't remember exactly. I think the channel was called something like Entertainment Playground or something like that. I don't know. It was the first time I've ever watched a video of theirs. Crap. This is not boding well for going into that battle. Anyways, the guy was doing a list of 10 games he wanted to see rebooted. Like, not just high-def remake, but an actual reboot. Let's go down. Ooh. I never used those pills. I probably should. And I was curious to see if there are any anything I agreed with. There was one that I definitely did agree with. He admitted that he was kind of cheating because he was putting like 3 those would go down 1, but that'd go up 4. I don't know if I want to do that. You know, it actually... I think that's a better option. All right. What's that other stuff? Oh. Anyways, one where I definitely agreed with him, where it was like 3 games, was it was Gauntlet, or not Gauntlet, jeez. Sorry, I just put on a Gauntlet. It was Rampage, I think the other 2 were War of the Monsters and King of the Monsters. I could have those names wrong. One of them was Incognito game. You know, Incognito, the company that made Twisted Metal Black. They had a monster fighting game on the PS2. It was like one of those, like, obviously the monsters are inspired by licensed monsters, but they're like the fake versions. And like the one King of the Monsters, if I'm right on that title, that's a Sega Genesis game where it's like literally a wrestling game, but you're monsters fighting each other. Well, this is convenient. But yeah, he's like, basically we just need more games of like giant robots and giant monsters fighting each other in the middle of a city, and I wholeheartedly agree. I love stuff like that. Ooh, more diamonds. But anyways, the reason why I bring this up, one of the games he brought up was F-Zero. And I've played F-Zero, but only a couple times. So I don't have like a ton of like nostalgic love for it. But I know it's a very popular series. If I'm remembering correctly, the last game in the series was on the GameCube. So, I imagine... Crap! So I imagine there's plenty of people who would love a new game in this series. That didn't work well. Anyways, when he... Oh, my word, I'm almost dead. Good thing there was a save right over there. He looks angry. He just kicked me. Oh, crap. Oh, my word. No. But... Jeez. That probably would have been alright. Holy crap. That series, like, big time. Oh my. Alright, screw that boss fight. We're just gonna do a collage of my many failures. And now I'm gonna run off somewhere else. Come down this way another time. Wait. Did I not go over there? Oh, I didn't save after I went over there. That's why. So anyways, the guy, he brought up F-Zero, and when he started talking about it, he's like, you know, imagine if, they remade F-Zero and it was open world. Like, you know, imagine if you had to get out of your vehicle and go into buildings to complete missions. Like, imagine if they remade F-Zero in, like, a Grand Theft Auto style game. And, I mean, my personal opinion is I'm not a huge fan of, I'm not the biggest fan of open world racing games. I don't necessarily mind them. They're still fun. I'm more of a old school, like, I want to set track for my racing games. But I know there's plenty of fans for open world racing games, so you could probably do an open world F-Zero game, and I'm sure people would like it. And you could do a Grand Theft Auto game that was like futuristic and had like a aesthetic similar to like the Fifth Element or Back to the Future 2. And people possibly go for it. It's not a guaranteed hit, but I'm sure people would be interested in at least checking it out. But the moment you call it F-Zero, man, you're just like throwing away all those original, like fans of the original series. Let's go see what that is. Ah! But I feel like at this point, the video game industry should have a long time ago learned lessons of don't just go, oh hey, Grand Theft Auto is popular, let's just make everything the same as that. Screw you all. Ooh. I need my Spike Breaker. Bam, bam, bam. But yeah, it instantly made me think of Final Fight Streetwise. I don't need to break all these, I just enjoy it. For those of you who don't know, Final Fight Streetwise, it was the the last game released in the Final Fight series. And it was pretty much a complete flop. It was a pretty big disease. Oh my word. Well, that's gone anyways. Oh my word, get me out of here. Oh, get your question marks out of here. Alright, so this is a nightmare. So when Final Fight Streetwise was first being developed, it was given to, if I remember the name correctly, the Capcom Studio 8. Like a lot of my random stories, most of my library card. Most of my information is coming from a Matt McMuscle's What Hoppin' video. Although I guess there's also a Unseen 64 video on the original concept. I haven't watched that video yet, but I definitely want to. But Studio 8, at this time, they were really popular because they had made the two Maximo games, which if you don't know what that is, that's a 3D reboot of the Ghosts and Goblins series that was very well received. I haven't spent a lot of time with the games personally. I just remember always hearing positive things about it. Did I get everything over there? Close enough. Yeah, looks like it. So, you know, I'm sure anyone who heard or saw any kind of announcements for the upcoming Final Fight saw them attached to it and thought, hey, we're in good hands. Walk armor. Looks like walk armor is still the best. And their initial concept actually in my opinion, sounded really good. Yeah, hiccups. My word. So the initial concept, Final Fight 7 Sons. Yeah, I'm going the right way. Was a it was much closer to the actual Final Fight game than what we would get. Oh crap! Where's my book? Gotta have my reading material. Actually, at the time, no one knew about this because, like, the information about Seven Sons didn't really come out, I guess, until something like 2011. And the actual Final Fight Streetwise was released back in, like, 2006. But, yeah, it had a somewhat cel-shaded look, which would have made it more resemble the old 2D sprites. Despite being a 3D game, it was still a side-scroller, like the old beat-em-ups. Oops. Like even having a camera that was on a rail that would follow the character back and forth to better emulate the old school beat-em-up design. And finally, it also had a supposedly a fairly complicated, not necessarily complicated, but a robust fighting system, which would be good for beat-em-ups because, yeah, I love that genre, but they're kind of notorious for being repetitive. So, you know, a fan of the genre like me hears all that stuff and thinks, man, I really want that game. But apparently Capcom's just like, no, we don't want to make that one. Why don't you make it more like Grand Theft Auto? No, I don't want that. And so they had to like retool everything, chop up the levels and kind of organize them in a way that made it more emulate more emulate an open world. That camera had to be retooled to be able to oh jeez, I thought you were dead. Had to be retooled to work in a 3D space, which it wasn't designed for, so it did not really work that well. Oh my word. The story was changed. The story in the game is not good. It basically revolves around, why am I trying to fight my way up to go save, and I don't know that it's worth it because I'm only going to get like 3 health points back anyways. Yeah, the story revolves around, there's a drug out on the street, and the person who ends up being behind it is this insane preacher who actually ends up being the brother of the boss from the first Final Fight game. And when you take the drug, it turns you into like the superpowered zombie thing with glowing eyes. So like partly through the game, a lot of your enemies become these super zombies. And like it has some of the original cast in it. Like Guy Hager and Cody are in there. Guy and Hager, they both fight alongside you for a moment, like teach you a move or something. Cody, you actually play as Cody's brother. So what are you then? That's not gonna work. Yeah, you play as Cody's younger brother, Kyle. And, nice. And Cody goes missing, and so you're off trying to find him. And, when you find him, eventually, like, you find out he's on that drug, so he's one of the bosses you have to fight. Oh, I thought that was an entrance. You gotta get through the water before you turn it into a bat, or else it'll change you back immediately. So yeah, you have to fight Cody, and then eventually, through the power of your fist, you save his life, and then it's like some of the bosses you fought earlier in the game come back high on the drug, and now are like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse or something. And the fights get really stupid and annoying. But because it was an open world, you know, they had to get out of there, you idiot. It literally would not let me move to the side. Because it's an open world, you know, they had to have, you know, in the 2D game, you would have had good control of the pacing. You know, you move forward, you fight, you move forward, you fight. Now in open world, you know, wandering back and forth, and a whole lot of, hey, go to this place, talk to this person, and then come back to me. You're like, well, we gotta pad out the time, and so now you got mini games. Exciting mini games like, hey, go into this diner, there's cockroaches, you have 90 seconds to kick all the cockroaches. You do that multiple times in that blasted game. What the? That's a troll, huh? And the sad part is, Capcom was convinced this was going to be a huge hit. So much so that they had another studio, oh joy, those guys, working on an extremely similar game called Beatdown Fist of Vengeance. And I forgot to look it up to verify time frames. Because if I remember correctly, Beatdown released in November 2005, and Final Fight Streetwise in February 2006. I think they were originally actually supposed to release much closer, but Final Fight got delayed. But yeah, let's completely change a beloved franchise, turning it into something that it was never meant to be, and release it. Holy crap. Holy crap. But then not only change the game completely into something else, let's release it with a competition from our own studio, because, you know, that makes sense. I'm sad to say I've actually beaten Final Fight Streetwise. Holy crap. Getting a whole lot of holy craps out of me. Oh yeah, there was like an interview with a character designer, if I remember correctly. I guess he has a video on YouTube. I'm gonna have to look that up and watch it sometime. Sounds interesting. But he was talking about how he wanted to bring more characters from the original series into the game. So he was like bringing up character art of like Sodom, Poison, and other characters. And every time he'd get told either nope, don't want them, or hey, you gotta tone that down, you know, make it more down to earth, more relatable. And as a result, the game is very bland, very forgettable. Holy crap. What is that? That's amazing. the? Yeah, freaky castle right now. Yeah, that works. I think I'm gonna head over into the save area. What was that? Is that one of those, yep. Hey, sure. I legitimately don't even remember what the last sentence I was saying about that game was, so I've kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, there were... kind of feels like Grand Theft Auto like ruled that console generation. Like every game ended up being so popular that that there were tons of other games coming out trying to capture that popularity. You're an idiot. Ah! Hey, save. Cool. You know, Grand Theft Auto 3 has obvious inspirations from various mobster movies. Vice City is heavily inspired by Scarface. So, hey, those games are doing good and are at least partially based off our movies, so let's make Grand Theft Auto style games based on the movies. So then you get what the? So then you get like Godfather and Scarface, the games. San Andreas comes out and is you know, like a lot of gang warfare, and suddenly you get a lesser demon. Suddenly there's like a billion games that have to do with, that looks awesome, that have to do with gang warfare of varying quality, but you get wonderful games like True Crimes, which actually was pretty decent. 25 to Life, which was garbage. There was other ones. I think there was one that might have been called True Crime, no, not True Crimes, Crime Life or something like that. I already brought up True Crimes. But hey, Grand Theft Auto's doing it. Everyone else needs to do it too. And like Saints Row, with respect to what the series became, when it started out, its main criticism was that it was a little too much like Grand Theft Auto. And then it kind of focused on creating its own identity and then became insane. Oops, not where I wanted to go, but what is that? What the? I should probably head back and save. Yeah. I want to trim a little bit, just show a death montage against that boss I attempted to fight. Look at that explosion. But showing I've been playing for 35 minutes, so it's got to be close to a half hour, even after all the editing. And you guys really do want to play. That's awesome. Fire everywhere. That was fun. did watch today. Matt McMuscles put out an episode on Resident Evil 6, which was kind of Resident Evil's major. What if we made the series Call of Duty? And that didn't go well. I know I've mentioned this before. I don't necessarily mind the action-focused Resident Evils. I just wish they were definitely a spin-off instead of a mainline game. Like Resident Evil 5, very fun action game. I very much enjoy that game. Does not feel like Resident Evil, though, so it feels weird calling it, like, 5. But anyways, that's enough. I've rambled on. I've probably missed half my points. The way it should be. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Until next time, my dear friends. Until next time.